So robots are something that has always fascinated me since my childhood, and I'm going to be talking to David Ewing Duncan, author of Talking to Robots. And good morning.
Good morning.
I'm not quite sure if you are a robot or not.
I might be, I don't know. Was I supposed to send my human self?
Right? So tell me a little bit about Talking to Robots.
So Talking to Robots, it's a book about what might happen in the future with robots and AI. And we're all kind of thinking about this. We're excited about it on the one hand. I mean, we've got our phones, we've got all these incredible new technologies.
Yeah.
You know, thanks to AI, mostly at this point, robots, you know, that are like waiting on us and all that are still a little ways off. But we're also sort of a little bit afraid of it. And,
A little.
You know, by day we're using our phones, we're GPS, and by night we go home and watch Westworld.
My husband puts Alexa in the cupboard and shuts the door.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I actually disconnected Alexa. No, she was listening in. I was doing an interview. I'm a journalist, and I mentioned some obscure disease. And while I was on the interview on my computer, that came up for an ad. And I'm like, okay, the only way that anyone would have known that was listening in.
Wow.
So I actually unplugged Alexa.
Interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, because you do think of all the miraculous things robots would be good for. I mean, I think of, maybe elderly people and companionship or a helper aid, you know?
Well, exactly. I mean, this is what's so interesting right now. I mean, it's being used behind the scenes mostly right now. Like I said, it's mostly what we would call maybe advanced computing. Mm-hmm. Artificial intelligence is a kind of tricky term, what exactly that means. But it's being used for everything. And in fact, in the book, there are 24 robots, and I could have picked 200. Mm-hmm. It's everything from a doctor bot to a thriller writer bot to on and on and on, a teddy bear bot. And so these technologies can be used for all sorts of things. And yeah, I mean, one of the exciting things, I was just in Japan, there are these, I don't know, they look like baby seals, and elderly people with dementia hold these, and it kind of talks to them and coos to them. And I mean, again, when you hear that, you go, wow, that's kind of interesting, but it's also a little weird.
And robots are, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're already learning, right? We already have robots that can process information, and they get smarter about interacting with us. So that is interesting of how smart can they get, and where does it go from there?
Well, yes. I mean, it's called machine learning or deep learning. And right now, you still have to teach a robot or an AI system almost every possible iteration of whatever you want to program it for. Like, it's called a cat problem. And they have to show, they've shown computers literally tens of thousands of pictures of cats. But if they show a picture of a cat that's not one of those tens of thousands of cats, it might think it's a dog, or it might think it's a baby. But the machine learning is trying to overcome that problem. If you show a human a picture of a cat, you know what a cat is.
Correct.
And so there's still, I mean, it's funny. They are very smart, but there's still a long way to go before they reach this area where our kind of imagination is already placing them and where we see on TV and in film. It's coming, but in some ways, I'm actually more afraid of a stupid computer or AI system or robot than I am a smart one right now, because they can make horrible mistakes because of that cat problem.
True. Yeah. And the learning is getting faster all the time.
Yeah.
So you're going to be at the Edwards Interfaith Chapel tonight at 6 p.m. If you get your tickets ahead of time, that's only going to be $25. Fascinating. You can still get them at the door, but absolutely fascinating. I look forward to hearing a little bit more about you. And we're going to be giving away 2 tickets at our Watch and Win, which is coming up next.